Hello. This is to introduce a new YouTube channel, Global REO, for global real estate opportunities. On this channel, we will be providing interviews with property investors and agents all around the globe. In many cases, we will be looking at investments and examining them to see how they fit in with what we call the big three investing principles, which are cash flow, timing, and transport. Wait a minute. I know someone will want to jump in at this point and say, "What do you mean, Global REO? I thought the three most important things in property investing were location, location, location." Sure, I've heard that before too. But that popular phrase is very vague. How do you determine what is a good location? If you just look at price to determine prime locations, then this strategy will leave you chasing the highest priced properties. And consider this: what matters more, location or timing? Some agents will tell you, if you buy the best properties, the downturns will not hurt you. That has not been true in Hong Kong. For years now, luxury properties have lagged behind the much cheaper properties, which are affordable to ordinary people. And if you get your timing wrong and buy at the top of the market, it doesn't matter what you buy, you will lose money. So I have come up with a different list of key drivers of property prices. And I will be explaining these on this channel through online forums and with investors who attend various meetup groups that we will be setting up. I believe that these concepts are vital tools for successful property investing. The big three property concepts are cash flow, timing, and transportation. These give a more accurate and useful guide to success in property investing. In these videos, you will learn how to employ these concepts in investing, and we will discuss specific locations where they can be used. Let me explain a little more about them and give some examples for how these concepts can be used in Hong Kong. First, cash flow. When thinking about cash flow, obviously more is better. And you need to look at cash flow after basic costs like management fees, maintenance, and property taxes. Generally speaking, net cash flows will hover somewhere close to interest rates. So we see that yields in Hong Kong are now down to maybe 3.5% gross, and that's perhaps 2 to 2.5% net. That's pretty close to interest rate levels. And yields can be even lower than this in some of the most popular locations. This is only acceptable, these low rates, because of the ultra-low interest rates that we see in Hong Kong, with mortgage rates presently near 2%. Rates are expected to be pushed up over the next few months, and this is a factor weighing on Hong Kong property prices. Of course, location and supply-demand factors come into this calculation too. A well-located property which enjoys rising yields will be worth more and worth buying at a lower yield if the rents are likely to rise strongly over time. But one of the big problems for the Hong Kong market since the peak last September has been that rents have fallen. Lower rents and a shift in market psychology have been the main things that have led to a 10 to 15% drop in Hong Kong property prices. The second factor is timing, or cycles. Yes, timing is important. The 18-year-long property cycle is one of the key tools that I use. I have studied this cycle for years, and it was popularized by a guy called Fred Harrison, an economist who lives in the UK. When I lived in London, I met with Fred and interviewed him about his theory. In brief, his 18-year cycle consists of two main parts: a 14-year up phase, followed by a 4-year down phase. Of course, the timing of the turns in every cycle is not precise. You need to allow some wiggle room. So a 4-year down phase might be just 3 to 5 years. And you also need to watch the evolution of market psychology and subtle shifts in people's thinking over time. Back in 2011, and even some years before that, I said that the 18-year cycle could be expected to peak in Hong Kong in 2015 to 2017. Earlier this year, I narrowed the peak down to September 2015, and I even made several posts on forums where I visit, saying at the beginning of the month, before it happened, that I expected the Hong Kong property market to peak in September. I even sold my own property in anticipation, and the sale closed that month. Now, since the mid-September peak, we have seen a drop of about 10 to 15%. There is more coming, in my humble opinion. Right now I'm expecting a 30 to 40% drop from the top within the next 3 to 5 years. That would be a low in 2019 to 2021. Now, I'm not dogmatic about the size of the drop. The timing and the psychology will matter more than the extent of the decline. I will fine-tune this projection as we go along. The third driver of property prices I call transportation issues. And this, briefly, is why location matters. Short walks are best. In its simplest form, this means ideally you want to be within an easy and short distance of where you live, work, and play. A nice property within short walking distance of a place with many jobs and or many other attractions will usually be worth significantly more than a slightly nicer place which requires a longer commute to get to work or to play. So when I look at a property, I automatically think, where are the jobs? Where are the jobs that will provide employment for the people who will live here? Okay, so there you go. I have given you a short introduction to these concepts. I look forward to examining different markets, writing on forums, and meeting with people in various locations. If you like what you hear on this channel, please subscribe and tell your friends about it too. Thanks for listening.